in Zero Gravity Studios, and we're downtown Athens with a brilliant Finnish musician, Tuomas
You weren't supposed to say that. Because now you're completely biased for the rest of the...
Yes, I am a little biased. I need to be honest about that.
Yeah, well, I'm good that we got through this in the beginning already, so everybody knows what is going on. Yeah.
Thank you for being with us in Metal Radio. Welcome.
My pleasure, I believe and hope.
It's the second time. Only this time we're
now,
up close and personal.
Yeah, this is really weird. In 2 years, it's the first interview actually
in person.
Yeah. So.
Oh. I'm good luck. I'm usually good luck.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Okay. First of all, I'd like us to start from what brings you in Greece. Are you here on vacation or are you here in business?
A little bit both. Mainly vacation. I'm doing some recordings of stuff that I'm not allowed to talk much at all yet.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a really good timing to escape the Finnish winter, to be off the January. Which didn't go too well, looking back at a few days when you had the shittiest snowstorm of the year in Athens. But
it looks like you brought your weather with you.
Yeah, but that's this. Your chaos is nothing in Finland, so it wasn't that bad. So it's a really good time to step away from the winter season a little bit. So, and I like Athens. This is my 7th time in the city.
You like Athens despite many things that you've had here in the past.
Yeah, there's few promoters that I don't like as much as I like the city. It's not the fault of the place or the people. If you have one fuck up person fucking up somebody's flights.
True. Thank you for not holding that against us.
No, it's just the one person.
Okay, tomorrow is the release day for the new Dawn of Solace, Flames of Perdition.
Mm-hmm.
It's rather interesting that you are releasing an album within 2 years when it took you so many years to release the previous one. How come?
There was obstacles that I was unable to go around back in the days. Like 2006 came the first album. 2007 I was offered 2 options from the label, either hire a Spanish lawyer or pay 8,000 euros. At that time I didn't have neither of those in my disposal, so I was basically unable to continue the band. Only option would have been continue with that label, which was not an option at that time. So I lost the band. Legally I wasn't I was
Thankfully
unable.
you got it back.
Yeah, the label went into bankruptcy, and then I emailed the boss of the label that I'm finally free from the contract because the label that I did the contract doesn't exist anymore. Then I got an email in writing that is...
I think that's the first time I'm really glad about a bankruptcy.
Yeah, well, in some cases it's not that bad in music business. If a bad label or bad company goes under, it might set a lot of bands free from different financial or musical obligations. But it's then it's that happened 2015 or something. And then I was just waiting for the good timing because we were really in a busy schedule with Wolfheart releasing albums in really fast pace in the beginning. So it didn't make any sense to push an album at that time. So,
I see.
But it would have come. It would have been out a lot earlier. Naturally, I think 2008 there would have been a second album already, but things got bad.
Tell me a bit about Flames of Perdition, about the creative process. It sounds very personal, very depressive, very sorrowful.
All of those. It's a different approach with what I have with Wolfheart anyway, because I write the songs for Mick to sing. So it's I don't write them myself to sing, and it gives completely different variety. With the song can be mainly with just one acoustic guitar, because I know that his voice will fill up the whole room, and how sad he actually sounds with his voice is also the whole undertone of the whole of the music. His voice is basically what I think. When people hear the sadness and the depression, it's not you can always write dark music and sorrowful melodies, but the way he adds the final layer with the vocals, and that's what people usually pick up with the ears, because he's the storyteller. He's the
He is. It's as if he's weeping with
Yeah.
his voice.
yeah, and he's. I wouldn't say he's a sad person, but he's not pretending either when he does the vocals, which makes it even more like convincing, which makes the music even more sorrowful. So it doesn't like, I don't need to try and write something that sounds sad. I know that
his voice will do the job.
It will do the job, so I don't need to like underline it or overdo it with when I'm writing the songs themselves. So it's and yeah, it's really personal stuff. But I give myself a permission to write stuff very directly and freely because he's doing the vocals. So I'm basically just behind the curtain, saying the stuff that I would never say aloud, because I know that he will be the storyteller.
That's what I was about to tell you, that you shouldn't hide behind his voice, because your melodies are sad as well.
Yeah, but I think I should, because that feels really like a familiar and a good arrangement for me. That's I did try that with Wolfheart in some of the past albums, in certain songs, which resulted in a way that I can't perform those songs live.
Oh, I see.
Like returning
Too
that.
emotional?
It's partly that, but also it gets kind of like twisted around when things are too personal and you feel too exposed, and then when you are on stage you become an entertainer, whether you like it or not, because even though if you don't feel like I'm entertaining and you don't want to do it, but the audience is there to be entertained. So facing the audience who just wants to have fun and put the horns up and then you are singing about the stuff that actually really matters to you. That's the balance is completely off. That's like when you're in a party and you want to tell a sad story about your life and nobody's listening, because that is not the right forum.
I kind of disagree. I think it would be cathartic in
Not
a way.
for me, no.
And I think that...
I tried that. Backfires horribly. I feel really badly misplaced. The catharsis you mentioned, that I get from writing the songs. I do listen to my own music the most. Like I listen constantly, at least the albums that I'm on the writing process, recording process, in the mixing, and when it's done. And when it's usually done, I'm starting working with the next album, so it's like endless cycle. So I do get the catharsis there. I don't need, it would never work for me in front of the audience. I don't know those people. They shouldn't know these things about me. I shouldn't be telling these things about. And it's wrong forum.
Yes, but however, can't they relate? I mean, I find myself many times relating to songs that you write.
They can, and they hopefully will. But I think again the forum is wrong, because if you listen to this certain music at home or car in your private bubble. That is, you perceive the music differently. When you are in a gig, again,
it needs to be loud.
The beer number 7, horns up, and then you don't really like, nothing resonates you in that level.
I see.
Live gigs are just mainly meant to have fun. Maybe Dawn of Solace would be able to create a certain mood, and that's not a gig that you would have a wall of death or.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. It would be a different mood. Dawn of Solace, it would basically be possible. Wolfheart, it would never be. We have a different audience, different energy. This personal output thing doesn't fit there at all.
So how do you juggle the creative process between when you're writing for Wolfheart, when you're writing for Dawn of Solace? I mean, do you sit down and say, I'm gonna write a Wolfheart song, or do you just start writing and decide when it comes out what it is for?
I always work like one album at a time, basically. So I don't write for several bands at the same time. I always want to like work for, and I don't write just songs. Like I don't know how that goes. That you just make songs and like I know a lot of bands have this system that they make like 15 songs and they pick up 10 best. Like, why did you write the 5 CD ones? Why did you like? How does that work?
You don't waste songs.
You already work with material. You know that this is probably gonna suck. There's a 33% of chance this is gonna be one of the shittiest songs of the pile. Let's finish it anyway. To me, this is how I see it. I don't think it's actually like this, but I always like when there's like the first song for Dawn of Solace album was White Noise that I made. The first riff was the acoustic picking was the first thing that I came into my mind, and from that point I started writing the whole album, and I was done when the whole album was done, and then I started working with Wolfheart and some other stuff. So I don't need to choose or juggle between the songs. It's just some riffs might work for Wolfheart that is on the Dawn of Solace or melodies, but that period of time was only for Dawn of Solace. So all the ideas are for that album and that.
You don't take notes? Let me remind this to myself when I'm writing about Wolfheart. No?
There's been incidents when I literally thought like this would be even better for certain band, but it's for that song, and you need to respect. Like every album you are making should be the best you're able to do, and then you upgrade yourself for the next one. So I don't see any point of like putting good ideas aside. Maybe this works better on that one. You just put all the aces from your sleeve on that album, and then you need to trust yourself that you're gonna be able to do hopefully more in the future. So yeah.
I see. That's why I said in the beginning that you're a brilliant.
And the silence grows louder. White noise ringing the forest. And the silence cries louder. Waves of sound reverse.
In Flames of Perdition.
I like how well you narrowed the question, isn't it?
The inspiration.
That
The
is
differences, if you feel that you've done something different from the previous albums.
well. There's not much difference to me because the Flames of Perdition basically just continues from the waves. There's a huge difference between the first and the second album, but the change is not big of a thing in here. But I wrote the core of the album was written in 1 week. I booked this off-the-grid cabin. Cabin in front of this lake where the nearest neighbor was like 2 kilometers. There was not even running water. And
Social guy.
yeah, and it was really like completely like disconnected from everything. So I wrote like I didn't have like full songs, but like each song had the main riff or main melody or main like thing, and then I just started building each idea into a song in a different way. So it was like every song have this acoustic core, and then I just like depending like what I heard the mood would be best for the song or where it went on its own, I started building it with more heavier or more acoustic or more. So it was all the songs came from the same small pier on the shore of the lake. And there's
Very
this,
inspirational. I just listened to the album before we started the interview. It sounded like it was pretty inspirational.
yeah, if you if you are able to like dissect the album, that you focus only on the acoustic parts, you can actually hear it. That is it's like one acoustic thing that's like just spreads to be one whole album.
Do you also approach the same way the production of the albums of Dawn of Solace? I mean, you wanted to be more, how can I say it, less powerful, more bare, you know, so that it can breathe more.
Actually, I wanted to be more powerful by being more bare. Like more air you can basically push or blow between the tracks, the bigger it becomes. It's not like Wolfheart, we do it differently. We try to build a tank that can just ram through every wall. But it's a different power when like with the production of Dawn of Solace, we want to have a, in a way, bigger. It doesn't need. It's not more massive. It's not more like you are. The guitars make like a wall where you can just lean on when you are listening. But it's. I want it to be more massive. That's why it's more bare. So every instrument, every like more nuance, like how different accents on the drums like work together with certain bass hit that like. Goes together with certain guitar thing. All of those have a more space to breathe, so that makes it actually bigger when you take less is more. Ingrid Malmsteen was horribly
So we'll
wrong
have more on that when Flames of Perdition is out and everyone can hear it.
about the different elements that you have. Mikko's voice is big enough. We done this like a cabin session we did a year ago where there's only my acoustic guitar, only his voice. And so sitting in the
last two songs in the album,
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
the live recordings.
Yeah. So sitting in the room playing the guitar and hearing him sing, already what more would we need? Like it's yeah.
The songs you write, that's what more
And
we
that,
need.
well, yeah, but also like as much as I like to be flattered about me as a songwriter, but his part of this album and the band is vital. It doesn't matter what I would write or what we do the production, because the pinnacle of everything is his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Because that he could carry the songs with only one instrument underneath. I think that's the biggest quality of any vocalist, that you are the song, you become the song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you just choose the instruments that are the building blocks to support the vocals. That's how it should go in this type of music.
So you mentioned before that you aren't allowed to tell us anything about Wolfheart, not even a little bit.
Mm-mm. No.
You are preparing a new album?
What?
Okay. How about touring?
Touring, yeah. That I can talk about.
Okay.
It looks like we are gonna be able to make the North American tour in April, May. Things like there's a lot of tours happening constantly. Cataclysm Dark Tranquility tour begins in just a few days. Nile is starting their tour. A lot of tours have been announced for the spring, so at least USA looks really good. USA is easy. It's one huge country with no borders. Canadian border is really complicated at the moment, what I heard. But we're not going to do any European tours until September, October.
Are you coming back to Greece?
We were already talking about maybe coming back, like doing a few shows while I'm here now, but it's way too early. But our agency is working constantly to find some days. Like we want to play because Vagelis lives here already. We have a sound guy here already. It would be super easy and simple to make it happen, but a little bit complicated times.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, it is complicated, COVID and all.
Yeah. And nobody knows the aftermath. Like people are talking about like getting back to normal, but with the music industry, the next normal will be early as 2023.
However, you have had some shows
Yeah.
during the summer. How was that?
I think we did one show in summer, or maybe two. I don't know. You lose track of time when not like this kind of thing happened. I think we played 2 shows, 2020 and 2 shows 2021. That's.
I remember there was one in your hometown, in Finland,
Yeah.
near a lake. I can't remember, and I can't pronounce the name of the festival, but I do remember you guys being there.
Yeah, there's not in my hometown, but we did like 2 festivals each summer, and we played few club shows in October, November. It's so different now. Like a lot of people, we were expecting to be on stage again, and it was like kind of fun, but
It wasn't?
when you strip all the routine off, you are basically like we stopped touring 2019 summer. Then we started working with the new album. When the new album came out, the pandemic shut all the doors, and we lost like 200 gigs after March 2020. And so we didn't have any routine for touring for a long time. Just a lot of frustration with gigs and everything. So then when you have one standalone festival, that's more like it just builds more stress than it builds anything.
How was it though?
It like when the intro.
Wasn't it fun?
It was fun when we realized during the last song that we actually survived it. Then it, when the intro was playing, I was just looking at my drummer eye to eye, like, how does this song even begin?
Oh.
Like, of course we know the songs, but when you take off the routine that you used to have for 15 years, it becomes completely different. Like, I don't think any of the bands were in this situation that the gig number 2337 feels like the gig number 1 suddenly.
Well, you're a heavily touring band, so it took away a lot of your routine. Yeah.
And we are not a band that rehearses much at all. Our first rehearsals with our previous lineup, when Mika was still playing the guitar before Vangelis joined, we were playing together for 2 years, a few tours already. We were working with the 3rd album, and our first rehearsals as a whole band happened in Athens. We never rehearsed together in Finland during those times. It's just logistically, Mika lived in the northern Finland. It didn't make any sense that we wanted to see that trouble. So we had a gig in Athens, and everybody flew here like one night before. We went to this one studio, had a rehearsal, and then we realized that this is the first time we 4 of us actually in the right place, like same place.
Yeah.
So we don't have a rehearsing routine either. So when you are off from the stages for 2 years, and suddenly you're in a festival, it's like, where is the cable going again? And like, are you counting this with 3 or 4? And the drummer's like, I don't remember.
Okay.
So like when that uncertainty digs into your brain, that's the only thing you know for the rest of the show. Then you're questioning everything. Like, is this thumb on this side of the guitar? Is this side? No. Like it's vortex that goes in your mind. Like if you.
I see.
Yeah. So it was weird. It was fun in the end, but it was just first like a question.
Tell me how it feels to have Vangelis in your lineup.
He's not the first Greek guy we've been working with.
However, he's a lot.
He's a lot. Well, there's Alex Keza has been doing several tours for us as a sound guy, and I've been working with a few Greek bands. I did production for Among Ruins album, and
amazing production.
I did the pre-production for our second album with at Grindhouse Studios with George Bogos, and we had another George as a session guy for one European tour. He used to play also in Among Ruins. He has a probably bigger biceps than Vangelis does, so it's so we have a bar set quite high. So it's not any Greek guy.
It's either biceps or no guitar at all.
But it's like not any Greek guy would do. Let's put it this way.
Okay.
But it's working with Greek guys is really easy, at least for me. And I did a tour a long time ago as a session drummer, and Roaring Cries was one of the headliners. I was playing in this Maldivian band. It's a really weird story. Yeah,
okay.
Finnish drummer in Maldivian band. Finnish drummer who's not even a drummer, playing drums in a European tour for a band that is from Maldives that never should have been on a tour.
You need to tell me that. You know that. Eh?
But Roaring Cries was one of the headliners, and that was the older lineup with George Bogos and the other guy on the bass. And
Andreas.
Oh yeah, I remember that well. But I remember that they were really cool on stage, really like a cool looking lineup and really like powerful and everything. Years later, we were already playing with Wolfheart, and we had a festival in Germany, and there was Roaring Cries as a headliner. I thought like I should go and check out the new lineup. I didn't know them at all. I haven't seen any footage on the gigs or anything. Vangelis came to ask us for a battery. That was the first communication. We gave him the battery and cool. And that was the only thing we talked about. And I
Okay.
at some point I realized, oh, they're probably playing. Let's go and see one of the songs. That is gonna probably be okay. And I went to see. I was like, fuck. That's like no like gay connection here, but that is the most gorgeous man that I've ever seen on stage. With the you have seen him.
Yeah.
Camera guy has seen probably. It's
He's huge.
not the size, but the amount of energy.
That's
That's
what
not
that's
like
what
a-
I meant. Not
Yeah,
the size.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not the
As
size.
it's a huge, the charisma and the character and everything, and it's just he's just the perfect machine when it comes to being on stage. But it doesn't look like it's rehearsed or planned. He's just like this force of nature on stage. After the gig, I sent him a message that if we ever need a bass player for, we might have an American tour coming up. And he replied that it would be cool, but there's some Northern Cross tours overlapping. I didn't know that he plays guitar even until we did the European tour with Alex Cato was our sound guy, and we started that conversation again. And then he mentioned like, well, this guy plays in my band and blah blah blah. And we talked quite a long, like few weeks. We have this conversation until we connected the dots. And we are talking about this
The
one
same
song.
guy.
Yeah, I was like, I know another guy too. Yeah, well, this one guy plays guitar in my band, like. And, so yeah,
Do you remember the name of the band?
which band?
Vageli's band?
Yeah, I don't. I always fuck up the pronunciation,
I
so
know.
you can put the text.
Okay.
I always tease him, so I'm gonna say it's New Kids on the Block.
Okay. Well, it's not Backstreet Boys either.
Yeah, that's what I use sometimes.
So it's Full House Brew Crew.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
probably I agree.
So, wrapping up, I'd like to thank you for being with us. I'd like to hope to see you really, really, really soon on stage in Greece or anywhere else.
We are really trying to get that happening by the end of the summer or the early September. That's the
And everyone
Focus now.
should check out Flames of Perdition, the new Dawn of Solace that's out tomorrow. Do you have a personal favorite?
I think the title track. So again, that's a good example how little you need. You need just one piano track, one really strong vocals, and that carries half of the song already. I think that it sounds bigger when he plays with sings with the grand piano than it is with all the guitars and drums. It kind of like the world of the song actually grows a little bit smaller when. Yeah, that's it.
It was my personal favorite too.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much for being with us, Tuomas.
Thank you.
And we'll meet again when you're back here.